Ladies, gentlemen, boys, girls, whoever's watching, NBA basketball is less than 24 hours away. It's unreal. There has been so many months between last season and this season, and for it to be back tomorrow, honestly, I couldn't be more excited because life without basketball nowadays is just boring. There's not something to watch every single day like there is with NBA. When you ever get bored and you're in some sort of slump with nothing to watch, NBA is there every single day for 7 months or whatever it is. So it's back and it's going to be better than ever. I think this is one of, like last season, it's anyone's game. There's so many teams, in my opinion, that are going to have a run at the championship this year. So there's really no way to put a finger on it. Who knows what's going to go on? These basically for me today, before the season starts and before, it's too late, you can't lock your predictions after, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to lock all my predictions for all the major awards. Individual awards, not team awards. And that doesn't include Coach of the Year because we all know Coach of the Year nowadays, it's a record trophy. At the end, whoever gets the best record in the league, 9 times out of 10, Coach of the Year is that coach. It's just how it works. So I'm not going to put a finger on it because if I'm being honest, I don't know who's going to have the best record in the league this year. Because the Celtics have got a chance at it, the Thunder have a chance at it, even the Nuggets, we don't know what's going on with the Nuggets. I see them having a spot. 76ers, for all I know, they do really good. The Knicks, who have just come up. There's all those teams who all have a fair chance of it, in my opinion. So we will see what happens with that, and Coach of the Year I'll put to the side because it's based on the record, like I said. It's just all the major awards. So today I'm going to go MVP, Rookie of the Year, Six Man of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year. It's a bit of a weird award, still wrapping my head around it more and more every day, but I'll put it in there. Most Improved and Defensive Player of the Year. All those awards I'm going to slowly go through today. I'm going to talk about my reasons why the winners are those people and why I think they are going to reach that level this year. And without further ado, we may as well get into it. First up, MVP, everyone's favourite award. I probably should leave it to last, but I'm going to get it out of the way because, in my opinion, it should be his year. And that man is Luka Doncic. I think it should be his year. Top 3 last year. Ever since he's come into the league, he's averaged 20-something points, and he's just gotten better every single year. Dallas, I don't think Dallas are nowhere near the same team without him, even with Kyrie, now Klay Thompson and all those guys. If you lose Luka Doncic from that Dallas Mavericks team, they go straight out of the playoffs, let alone the NBA Finals where they were last year. So Luka, I think it's his year. He's going to have a massive year. He does video game numbers, near triple-double every night, 35 points per game sort of statistics, which is just Luka Doncic. I think I've touched on it once before. He's one of those players where he is so good that people forget how good he is. He always gets into this category. Oh, he's so good. He's a superstar. He's an all-star. But they don't show him the respect with the rewards related to it. Someone like Nikola Jokic, yes, Denver aren't the same without him any more or less than any other team. For him to win it back-to-back in a league where we've got people like Luka Doncic putting up the numbers that he's putting up doesn't really make sense to me. And I think Luka this year, coming off the back of the finals run, he's going to be hungrier than ever. As we know, most teams are coming off a loss. He's going to get in, he's going to score, he's going to get his statistics up, and he's going to do everything that realistically, at the end of the day, it's everything we expect to see from Luka nowadays, which is weird to say. But just depends on how high his production is, how efficient he is from the field. We know Luka's efficiency, he takes a lot of shots. So he does still need to keep that efficiency around, which I'm sure he will. And just do all the little things that impact winning. Even in the playoffs last year, his defense wasn't as bad as we always, pick Luka to be. We've always seen Luka as a bit of a mediocre defender is probably the best word to use. He'll challenge this year. I think he will slowly start to take strides, sort of like Steph Curry. He will take strides in that defensive area. It will take time, as we all know. These sort of things take time. It doesn't happen overnight. But I think he will start to try and impact winning on the defensive side of the ball this season, and it will be another big reason why I'm giving him the MVP this year. Secondly, I got Rookie of the Year. It's a bit of a weird one this year. I think the draft class this year, it's not like a far and away like last season. It was Wemby. It was always going to be Wemby. Next year, it's looking more and more every day like it's going to be Cooper Flagg. Like this year, it's not one of those draft classes where you're going to put a finger straight on someone and say they're going to win it. My personal opinion, I've got Alexandre Sarr. I've seen a lot of upside to his game, especially being from Australia, where I am currently, where I come from. Seeing bits and bobs of his game last year and the sort of effects that he can have on a team like the Wizards. We know the Wizards are going to be really bad. I think we've all come to that conclusion, but it's the reason for them being so bad. It will give Alexandre more and more opportunity to build his game. And I think he's going to get starter minutes. He's going to get, damn near all-star minutes because the Wizards are going to be that bad that they're just going to be able to run him as much as they like. So for that reason is why I give it to him, and he will be able to score the ball, play defense, do all the little things. Honestly, he did have a pretty bad summer league and preseason, but that's not the here nor there. Wizards barely played any preseason basketball, so can't really speak too much on it. His summer league was pretty bad. We all sort of know this. Long story short, he will impact some sort of winning on the roster because at the moment the Wizards, they don't really have much winning going on, much winning basketball, and we sort of all know that. But he is my pick for this year. The only other person that I really had on the top of my head was Zach Edey. It really just depends for Zach Edey how much game time that he gets. Because I know with Ja being back, the Grizzlies are going to compete again. And it is looking like Zach Edey is going to get a lot of starting minutes because it's the one position that they needed to fill on that team. And he should be able to fill that. But at the same time, I don't trust his minutes enough to be able to positively put a finger on him. Where we know Rookie of the Year, the same thing with a lot of these awards nowadays, they're all statistics based. And if you don't have the statistics to back up whatever impact you're having on the floor, it's not going to make a difference. Exact reason I've gone with Sarr, because of his minutes, because of how impactful he's going to be to a losing situation and hopefully turn over some wins for them. That is literally the one and only reason I've picked him over Zach Edey. Sixth Man of the Year. I had him winning it last year and I've got him again winning it this year. Malik Monk should have won it last year, in my opinion. Naz Reid came out of nowhere sort of the second half of the season and all of a sudden the votes all counted in his favour. But Naz Reid being the only one who was sort of contesting him for the award last year. Now with Karl Anthony Towns leaving and getting out of the Timberwolves, I do see Naz Reid getting a lot more starting minutes, which does affect his candidacy for Sixth Man of the Year. He's going to put up the same numbers. He's going to have the same production, even get better because he's only still young. For all we know, he can get better in the situation. But at the same time makes him liable to start games. And I think that's what the Timberwolves are going to want for him some games. Because as soon as Rudy Gobert goes out, as soon as anyone tall goes out, he goes straight into that starting lineup. And it's going to affect his candidacy for the award because we know, I think it's half of the games you have to be sitting on the bench to be in contention. But Malik Monk's not going anywhere off that bench. Even bringing DeMar DeRozan in, he's going to get those starting minutes, so he's going to clog up the guard positions. Those sort of guys are all going to clog up the positions where Malik Monk, he'll probably start 15, 20 games of the season. We don't know what will happen with injuries. We pray for none, but we know it's NBA at the end of the day. you can't really say too much on it. As far as his upside goes, Malik Monk's production is off the charts. We all know this. He's a hell of a basketball player ever since he's got out of that Lakers situation he was in. He's thrived in Sacramento in that secondary position, not having to be that third option or anything, just being able to go out, play his own game, do his own thing. It's made a hell of a difference for him, and he's going to back it up this year. He's going to have the same sort of production, and they will give him the award this year. As far as Clutch Player of the Year goes, I'm not really going to touch too much on it because it's sort of a bogus award. I've got a couple of names. I've got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I think he's my first pick. The OKC is going to be good, but they're also young. They're going to get themselves in a lot of tight games, a lot of slow games. They're going to be neck and neck with a lot of teams at various points in the season. And I think Shai has shown us more than enough in those clutch moments that he is able to do those things. He can hit the mid-range jumper when you need him to, get to the rack, draw fouls, even pull up for a three, even though it's not in his game. He will find a way to score the basketball in the clutch time. And as far as clutch players on that team go, I don't really see anyone else other than maybe Jalen Williams. But even still, they do not trust anyone with the ball in the clutch time more than Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And I think that's going to translate into the season. Every time they get in a jam, he's going to be in the game. They're going to get him the ball, and he's going to get points. And as far as I've seen from this clutch award is that scoring points in the clutch goes a hell of a long way to winning the award. That's one of the only statistics they mark it on is crunch time minutes, crunch time points. It's basically just a simple formula, and Shai will more than likely lead that this year. Other names I got down, Steph Curry won it last year. We're going to find our way into some games as the Warriors, and Steph has been that guy for the Warriors for the longest time. He's going to continue to do it like he did last year, and he could still run it back and win the award again. Ja Morant is my last one. He's back this year. As I said, Grizzlies are going to be better. He's going to be the one to stand up for them, and he's in that same sort of pool as Steph Curry is. He's that guy for the team, and he's going to be put in those situations where he's looked at to score the ball, and he has shown us time and time again that he can do exactly that in those situations. But Shai is my guy. Shai is the one I think is going to win it this year. Young enough. He's still going to average 30 points per game or so. Find his way into the mid-range. Just all those fluent shots. And, yeah, he's the definition of a clutch player. So, 2 awards to go. Second last one, I got most improved. I've got 3 names on this list because I really can't pick from this award. Most improved is a hell of an award to pick from, and I'm not going to put a finger on one person right now until I get a couple of weeks into the year and sort of get an idea of what their production's going to be like and what their minutes are going to be like. I can't really put a finger on it. So the 3 names I got Jalen Green, first of all. Had a hell of a second year with the Rockets last season. Second half of the year, putting up 30 points per game. Which meant with his slow start to the season, he finished averaging 20 points per game, which then opens that window for this season for him to get 25, 26. Somewhere in that 26, 27 sort of caliber is where I see him being this year. And it's more than enough of an improvement for him to be looked at for the award. He's in a situation with Houston where you got Dylan Brooks, who's a great defender, Fred VanVleet, who's a great playmaker. So it's sort of all the keys that he needs to make an impact on the team in that way. And I think he's my favourite pick out of the 3 of them. My other picks being second up, I've got Benedict Mathurin. My only thing with Mathurin is he had a slow year last year. We all know injuries and stuff held him back last year. So his production didn't look as good last year. His rookie year was really good. And if he can get back to sort of his rookie year plus this season, I can see him winning the award. It's hard when my one thing with him is his minutes. because if he's starting on the bench all year, there's not a chance that he wins it. Let's be honest. It just depends on if the Pacers decide to slide him into that starting role or they decide to finally play him in that starting role. If he plays in the starting role all year, I don't see any reason why he can't win the award. But if he starts on the bench all game, even if he still gets started quality minutes and, has a great impact, I don't see it going far with him being on the bench. Last name on the list that I have, Immanuel Quickley. It's literally just a situation thing. The Raptors aren't going to be bad this year, but they're not going to be good. Immanuel Quickley is going to be looked at to score the ball a lot. And I think his boost in production will put his name in the ring for the award. He's going to continue to score. We know how good Immanuel Quickley is at scoring. I think as a small guard, you need to find certain ways to impact winning. And the best way to do that is through your jump shooting, through your getting steals and stuff, which we all know Immanuel Quickley is decent on the perimeter side, like on the defensive side of the ball. It's going to be interesting to see. As I said, I really don't know what to expect from this award, so I can't really touch on it too much. But my favourite pick, I would say, is Jalen Green, just for the fact that he's in a right situation. Houston's not going to be terrible. And we all know how much vote givers love recognitions through records. If you have a bad record on a bad team, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to win it. And it's one of those cases here. As we know, Tyrese Maxey won it last year. They had a good team. And it impacted his name. And it boosted him into the award in the end. But I'm not really going to go into that. Most improved, it's a hard award. You don't really know until you've watched half of the season. So only time will tell with that one. But finally, Defensive Player of the Year. Really not going to talk about it much. I've got one name on my list. Every other category, I've got multiple names on my list. Victor Wembanyama, if he doesn't win the award, I don't know what to say. Bro comes in as a rookie last year, averaged 3.5 blocks, over 1.3 steals, I think it was, something like that. His rim deterrence is off the charts. His rebounding is off the charts. Just his defensive prowess as well as his offensive. He's just a freak on the defensive side of the ball. Rudy Gobert won it last year with Wemby being second, and I think with the changes to the Timberwolves, it'll be hard for Rudy to adjust, which opens the door for Wemby. The Spurs are going to be better this year, and that helps his case. He's going to be one of the most impactful players on the defensive side of the ball this year, if not the most. And I think he deserves the award more than anyone if his production is anything like what I saw last year. Because 3.5 blocks is not normal in any stretch of the imagination. 3.5 blocks is... You don't back someone to get 2 blocks in a game, let alone 3 and 4. Like, it's just ridiculous numbers. If he can do even just improve on that compared to last year, he's going to win the award by a lance. But yeah, that's about it. I'm not going to touch any more on that award because I think it's a one-man race, if you ask me. And that's really all the names that I have, all the awards. It's hard to pick. Way too early in the season. As I said, season starts tomorrow, so it's hard to pick the names because we haven't seen them touch a basketball this season yet. But they're my predictions. That's what I think how the season's going to unfold. There's really upsides to all those people that I've named in this video. It's going to be an interesting season. I'm just excited for basketball to be back. I'm going to be here tomorrow. I'm going to watch 5 hours straight of basketball, whatever the games are on tomorrow. And I'm going to enjoy every second of it. But without further ado, that's the end of this video. That's all I really have time for. It's going to be a hell of a season. I'm excited for it. See how the progression goes with these award winners. And we will recoup. So I'll pull the list up towards the end of the season. And we'll have a look at how it's unfolded. But only time will tell. All I have for today, if you guys enjoyed, liking, subscribing, all the good stuff is much appreciative for me. It keeps me going, keeps me happy, keeps me wanting to do this content for you guys. As of tomorrow, I'm going to try my very best. YouTube Shorts every day. I'm going to pick a stat line of the day. So basically, it doesn't always have to be someone dropping a 60 bomb who's a superstar. I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to more worry about role players and big games from people you don't expect it from. And I'm going to highlight them. So as of tomorrow, that starts YouTube Shorts every day for the NBA season. I'm going to hold myself to that because it's YouTube Short. It shouldn't take very long. Unlike these videos, which are a bit of a stretch sometimes. But look forward to that. That's going to be on my page every day, and I'm very excited for it. New season, new beginnings, new opportunities for me, and we will see where it goes. But yeah, that's everything I have, and I will see you guys very shortly. I will do a video tomorrow. NBA season starting. It'd be rude for me not to do a video. So I will see you guys tomorrow.